Getting control of your studio MIDI gear can be hard. In this video, I'll show you a controller which might just let you take control of everything from one box. Hi, this is the Faderfox MX12. It's a 12-channel mixer controller with all the knobs, faders and buttons that you possibly could need. I use it to control everything in my studio from one place. I've been using it for a few months now, and I want to show you how I'm using it as my all-in-one MIDI controller. First, let's take a quick review of some of its features. As you can see, the MX12 has 12 faders across 12 channels. Faders can be configured to send CC values on different MIDI channels. They can also send note values, program change, pitch bend, and aftertouch. Now in this video, we will use the faders in CC mode to send values as volume faders. The buttons can be configured to send CC values, notes, program changes, or even aftertouch. Configuration is done directly on the MX12 in edit mode. Press the blue button to select a control to effect, and then move across the green buttons. Here I'm controlling button 1. It's a CC. It's a toggle mode. The other mode is button, which is a one-time press. Sending on channel 2, it's sending CC value number 4. Similarly, fader. Fader 1. It's in snap mode, so it'll pick the value up as you slide it. Sending on channel 1, CC value 4. Range is 0 to 127. There's no web-based editor like its smaller brother, the EC4, but configuration is simple, and the MX12 has clever copy and paste features to take some of the difficult work out. But don't think you're limited to a single setup. The MX12 will remember up to 30 different setups. By pressing the red key along with a green button, you can cycle between them. For example, on setup 1, I'm able to control my mixer directly from the MX12. You can also send your setups from the PC over the USB port as sysx messages to store, backup and retrieve them, or even send them to your friends. Now let's talk about interfacing it to your gear. The MX12 is USB bus powered, and it can send and receive data both on the USB and MIDI ports. It has 2 MIDI out and 2 MIDI in ports, which you can configure the routing for. In setup mode, by choosing the routing option, you're able to select where MIDI data gets routed. Here, the data that's sent on MIDI 1 and 2 is whatever is received on the USB port. There is a special port on the MX12 called the extension port. The extension port allows you to connect the MX12 to its brother, the PC12, or indeed to a second MX12 for all of the faders and knobs you could ever need. Connection is done using an Ethernet crossover cable like this. Power and MIDI data is sent over this cable, so you don't need any additional wires. Be sure to get a crossover cable and not a straight through cable, otherwise it won't work. Now let's look at how I've connected the MX12 to my gear for this demo. Today the MX12 is going to control 3 different devices. The first one is my mixer, a Behringer XR18. I've also got it controlling my Deluge and a effects pedal, the Empress Zoia, which is MIDI-enabled, running a complex patch that I'll be able to tweak the parameters of from the MX12. For my mixer, I have the first 4 channels configured to send volume information into the mixer itself. The next 4 channels send volume fader for the returns from the pedals. I have my mic level, the aux level of returning from my laptop, and also the main fader volume. I've configured the green buttons to mute and unmute individual channels. So when I want to mute or unmute a channel, I simply press the button and it's muted on the mixer. As you can see from the interface, when I move these, the corresponding slider moves in the user interface. I've also configured the send levels from the mixer to my pedals. Okay, configuring a mixer is fun and all, but how about we make some music? Let's get the MX12 mapped onto the synth parameters for the Deluge. First, I'll switch over to setup number 3, where I'm going to store the Deluge specific settings on the MX12. As you heard from the track I played in the intro, it's composed of some chord elements layered over a bass line, some percussion, and drums. I want to set the faders on the MX12 to control the volume levels of each of these tracks. I'm going to set the top knob of each channel row to be a filter effect for that instrument on the Deluge, and I'm going to set the second knob to be some sort of meaningful FX for that track. Finally, I'm going to map the green buttons to be track launch mutes so I can launch clips on the Deluge from the MX12 directly. I'll start with the bass line. Let's take a listen. So we've got a bass preset playing there. I open up the track, select the master, press learn, move the slider, and now the Deluge has learned. And as you can hear, the volume changes as I move the fader. Now I'm going to do the same for the rest of the tracks and the FX knobs. And this could take some time, so I jumped into my time machine, skipped over that part for you. I haven't forgotten about our friend the Zoia here. I've picked out a patch that has a number of configurable parameters. If I press the start parameters, I have 4 that I've chosen to map onto MIDI CC codes from the MX12. The Zoia listens on channel 5. So if I go into edit mode on the MX12 and select the knob that I want to control, and I look at the channel, it's channel 5. CC1 through 4 control these parameters. So again, I just go to here. This knob sends CC1. This knob is CC2. This knob is 3. This knob is 4. As you can see, the MX12 is a very powerful controller that lets you control synths, pedals, and mixers all from one place. There's a lot of depth to this device, and I hope you found this video useful. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, or requests for future videos. Thanks for watching.